Twitter was once known as a platform for free expression online. However, over the past few years, the company has become more aggressive in enforcing account suspensions and censoring content. Such actions of censorship have often seemed arbitrary. The Twitter co-founder Jack Dorsey and the new owner of Twitter, Elon Musk, have both expressed concerns that these recent actions from Twitter goes against its initial mission. Twitter rarely suspended individuals before 2017. Until then, most of the accounts that were suspended by Twitter were linked to ISIS and other terrorist organizations. Account suspensions in the US were mostly limited to white supremacist groups and users who advocated violence. Jack Dorsey himself posted a tweet in April that he does not believe any permanent ban is right, with the exception of illegal activity. In 2018, he also expressed concerns that the company's conservative-leaning employees do not feel safe to express their opinions.
I mean, we have a lot of conservative-leaning folks in the company as well. And to be honest, they don't feel safe to express their opinions at the company. And they do feel silenced by just the general swirl of what they perceive to be the broader percentage of leanings within the company. And I don't think that's fair or right. We should make sure that everyone feels safe to express themselves within the company, no matter where they come from and what their background is.
Twitter removed a New York Post report about Hunter Biden's laptop before the 2020 election. In October of 2020, Twitter not only removed the front page report from the organization, but also banned users from being able to share and retweet the article. The company also suspended the New York Post's Twitter account temporarily. As a consequence of this event, Elon Musk posted a tweet mentioning that suspending the Twitter account of a major news organization for publishing a truthful story was obviously incredibly inappropriate.
Clearly, news outlets serve as primary sources of information about politics. As news outlets and media publishers use Twitter to connect with and engage the audience, Twitter oftentimes becomes a political tool. But is Twitter itself a neutral platform, or does it contribute to the promotion of one party's voice over another? In October 2021, Twitter admitted that its algorithms amplify tweets from parties on the political right more than their counterparts on the left. This clearly indicates that Twitter has biased algorithms. But is this the only bias of Twitter's algorithms? Is Twitter's censorship algorithm biased too? New studies show that black-aligned tweets are classified as hate speech at higher rates than white-aligned tweets. More specifically, leading AI models for processing hate speech are 1.5 times more likely to flag tweets as offensive when they were written by African Americans, and 2.2 times more likely to flag tweets written in African American English. So the next question is, why is Twitter's censorship algorithm biased? Is this a coincidence or result of flawed human decisions? Before we answer this question, we need to first understand how artificial intelligence algorithms work. AI uses machine learning and deep learning to make decisions. A huge amount of data is used to train AI algorithms to improve the accuracy of their decisions. Here's an example of an image classification algorithm.
When you have that algorithm, data like millions of photos correctly labeled as a mug, it will be able to detect other pictures of mugs by comparing it to a set of characteristics it has learned thanks to its database.
However, since the decisions made by algorithms are completely dependent on data that feeds them, flawed datasets will lead to flawed algorithms. In the case of natural language processing AI that is used to identify offensive language on Twitter, its training data, which are tweets that have been hand-flagged by human beings with labels such as being hate speech, offensive, or abusive, are already biased. Algorithms only propagate such bias. But why are datasets biased? In the case of censorship algorithms, a group of humans decide what's hate speech and what's not. They also decide what goes into the sample dataset the machine learns from. As they neglect the social context of the tweets and feed the algorithms with biased datasets, Twitter's biased censorship algorithm is an inevitable result.
Twitter has changed dramatically within the past decades as it stepped up its censorship on country-to-country biases. In countries such as China, we see it in practice as the government seeks to have a strong control over its people and the internet. The web is a powerful tool, and when paired with proper information, can cause havoc within a country through protests and riots. In the next video, we see a protest in Cairo in activism for strong human rights in terms of freedom of speech.
It was an important tool in the Arab Spring uprising. Now Twitter has changed its technology so it can censor messages on a country-by-country basis.
It shouldn't be applied to any social media or social broadcast, but I guess what happened is due to the Middle East and due to the reform and the revolutions everywhere.
Twitter declined an on-camera interview, but released a written statement. It read, "Until now, the only way we could take into account of those countries' limits was to remove content globally. Starting today, we give ourselves the ability to reactively withhold content from users in a specific country while keeping it available in the rest of the world."
Is getting a considerable amount of criticism because they have agreed to censor certain tweets that countries do not agree with. So now there are two different camps when it comes to this Twitter debate, right? Now the reason why Twitter wants to give in to a country's demands is because they want to make sure that Twitter is available to everyone in that country. So if the government of a certain country is like, hey, we don't like these tweets that make us look bad, Twitter will try really hard not to censor that person or delete that tweet, but if it comes to it, they will have to do it, right?
Anna Kasparian mentioned in the interview that people are having an argument about Twitter's censorship. Some stated it made a good change for everyone in areas like China, Cairo to also have access to Twitter. It's interesting to see that in Twitter's censorship, if a person's tweets are censored in his or her countries, people from other countries can still see the tweets, while the others thought the censorship restricts freedom of speech.
What's better, to have an entire country ban you or still be available to the people of that country? And as Steve mentioned, and I think this is a great point, if they do want to mobilize people for some sort of social movement, maybe they can find a way to do it in code.
These are just a few of the observable cases where censorship has been utilized by the government in efforts to suppress the people and maintain order within the society and general public. It has evolved into something much more large-scale in today's age too, ranging from digital content and beyond. Twitter is depriving cyber dissidents in repressive countries of a crucial tool for information and organization. For marginalized groups in these countries, it is even more difficult to have a voice. What does Twitter really mean for the marginalized people?